Continuing now with 21st Century Radio's Back to Woodstock special, our next guest is Susan Beverly, another old friend of mine from the Woodstock era. Susan moved into our Savitria commune soon after the festival, and like all of us at Savitria, she was a communal owner of the light VW bus that we bought from Bob Grimm when he moved to England to pursue a fabulous musical career. We'll cover that another time. Susan went on later in life to become a teacher of meditation with her company Sweet Spot Arts and Wellness. She has faithfully practiced the light meditation every week for 4 decades. This is the particular meditation we learned with Bob Grimm's band, and that impressed them so much that they changed their name of the band to Light. A writer, artist, singer, songwriter, Susan teaches art, music, and writing lessons for individuals and groups, as well as meditation, creativity, editing, performance, Reiki, and the Hawaii Lomi Lomi. Welcome back to 21st Century Radio, Susan Beverly.
Hi, Bob. It's so wonderful to be back with you.
Good going. I'm glad you made it there, sister. Susan, you are joining us tonight as part of our Woodstock special. So let me ask you first about your memories of this generation marking event. What do you remember about the Aquarian Exposition?
Well, I had moved into Savitria while I was in college, and it was a spiritual commune, and I was underage, so I couldn't really go to Woodstock. But we used the light bus every week. We would go to the organic food store and get stuff. We'd take the kids with us. We had a great time. It was a wonderful time to be recreating society. We had an organic garden. I milked the goats. We baked our own bread, ground our own wheat berries. It was really a cool time.
They were about 13 of the most cool people I've ever known in my life, in the sense of elevating their awareness and consciousness. Well, tell us what you remember about your time at Savitria. What are your fondest memories?
Well, my fondest memories were learning meditation. That was the first time I had learned to meditate, and I learned that I was not just my physical body, but also my emotional, my intellectual, and my spiritual self. And also, we learned a lot about different things from different cultures and different religions. We had lots of different speakers come and talk about Egyptology and talk about other forms of meditation. So it was really a cool time to learn how to be mystical in all those different traditions.
Well, it certainly was an unusual place for Baltimore. I mean, the rest of the country had some communes like Savitria, but it was extraordinary when you compare it to most of the others that existed. Let's do a sample, that is, a little sample of the light meditation now for our radio audience. Normally, the light meditation lasts about 20 minutes, but tonight I want you to just talk with us, or walk through it, that is, through it, and give us about 1 or 2 minutes worth of an example of how the visualization works.
Okay. Well, basically, and if anybody's listening, they can do this, we just get in a comfortable position, seated or lying down, and then you want to take deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then we relax the whole body from foot to toe, and then we talk about the different chakras, or the different energy centers, and how to calm them. And then along the way, we also put someone we love or have a problem with in the light and send them all kinds of healing. And then we go out from where we are in the room to the house, to the community, the state, the region, and all the way out to the end of the world. And we go all the way out into the universe and fill everything with pure white healing light. And then, of course, we come back into our bodies gradually and slowly and surely. It's a really wonderful process. Sometimes during it, there are other images or visualizations that come to mind a particular time of year, and I'll add those in.
Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, you'll be doing one of these meditations as we open up on August the 12th at 10 a.m. for the launch party that's coming up. You're going to be there, right?
Yes, I will be there, and I'll be happy to do a small version of the light meditation for anybody who wants to learn it and give them information about how they can learn more. I believe you also have it's something you can scan on your Light Bus card that will do the whole meditation, has me doing the whole one.
That's true. That's true. It's lightvwbus.com. lightvwbus.com. Well, I heard you have trained with Al Gore's Climate Reality Leadership Corps. He is one of the few politicians that I fell in love with for a long period of time. What have you learned, and how are you active?
Well, I went there about a year and a half ago, and I learned from him and the other climate scientists that discovered ozone and different things about the latest scientific data. And you can see from the weather changes and what's happening to our animal populations and plant populations now that it's really exacerbated and quadrupling in force. So we have to pull together everything we can do to help influence politics, big businesses, celebrities, people that are rich. Those are the groups we have to get on board, because just our individual actions will not be enough, even though they are quite essential.
Yeah, are you surprised by what's happening with our climate today? That is the enormous amount of rain and water and flooding that's going on. Are you surprised by any of this?
Actually, I'm not, because I helped start the first Earth Day at Community College of Baltimore in Catonsville, and we already knew, Ron Doss came and talked to us, I already knew that the climate was in big trouble. One of the main factors that people don't consider is the planet has almost 8 billion of us, and that's about twice as many as we should have, and we're trying to figure out that problem. That's the hardest one, but because each person, of course, creates extra things, and each person has to take in more things. So it's just too many people for such a small space, and the Earth is now having trouble, regenerating herself quickly enough to take in all that.
Well, we sure do have a problem with water, not just in the sense that we're being flooded, but how we're being flooded. I know the middle of our country used to think that they were safe, but they're not. What's been again happening is, do you want to comment on that?
All the coastal regions and all the small islands, like I lived on Hawaii for a while, I believe within the next 5 or 10 years they're going to have some major problems. I had a small home down in Ocean City, and I sold that a couple of years ago because you can't get insurance for those houses anymore.
Whoa.
The water is really a problem. Well, it's like millions of dollars. So water, in my sisters in Florida, they're flooding there every day. That was in Al Gore's second movie.
Yeah.
It's just gotten exponentially worse. And so this is because all that glaciers that have been melting, that water has to go somewhere, and it's affecting, the streams and the Gulf and all the different places. So the places we've had trouble with before are going to get worse, and places like Manhattan and all along the eastern seaboard are going to have to start preparing.
Well, do you think the light meditation can help this particular situation with the climate changes?
If it helps to motivate people to get them centered and focused inside themselves so that they can take action. I don't know whether we'll be successful or not. I work with a group called Extinction Rebellion. I coordinate those groups all over the world now. There are people that actually lay down in the streets, glue themselves to buildings, and they're really trying to get governments to listen, and some of them are. We have Bernie is into the climate thing. There's a lot of other people that are trying to get on board with climate, but we have to change policy, and we have to have more clean energy right away, and we have to outlaw fossil fuels as fast as we can, because that's really what's doing it.
Well, our president obviously he's just made some comments recently that he's doing a good job with the environment. Do you think he is doing a good job on the environment?
Who's that?
Our president.
Oh, no. Well, no. He has passed over 80 pieces of legislation that have taken away the rights of certain animals and have taken away the rights of native lands, but also he's selling off pieces of land that have been protected for years and years and years. And so he's into big business and profit till the very end, and that's not going to help us. We can make profit, but it needs to be in the green energy field, and he is adamantly against all that. And so I don't know. I'm a mystical person, and I believe the scientists and what they're saying. Over 97% of the scientists know that there's climate change happening, and they've spoken with the other 3% and convinced them from what Al Gore has told us. So that's why I'm really concerned. So we have to get to the political people. And in the meantime, we have to be activists and do everything we can in the private sector as well.
Well, in Baltimore, we're having other serious problems with our water. The cost of water is accelerating enormously, and people are just not, some people, the poorer people, are just not going to be able to afford water. This is extraordinary. I was always puzzled as to why there were no drinking fountains in schools anymore and things of that nature. But it's amazing. Without water, you will die. Nations will die.
That has invented a way to pull water out of the air and make it. There's a lot of things online that I can send you about that. But the main problem they're having in Australia now, and they're also having in India, is there's some whole cities which have run out of water. And the people are having to leave their livestock, leave their towns, leave their homes, and go elsewhere looking for water. So it's really reaching a crisis level, and we're going to have more refugees and immigrants from other countries that are fleeing climate, either floods or droughts or those kinds of things.
Whoa. Well, Susan, you'll be joining us at the American Visionary Art Museum on Monday, August the 12th at 10 a.m. for our launch party for the recreated light bus as it leaves on its journey back to Woodstock 50 years later. You'll also even be offering us as a group meditation, and I hope we can get a great healing for the city of Baltimore with this day of celebrating peace and love. And listeners, you will be able to see Susan Beverly in the new film called The Woodstock Bus, premiering on the Curiosity Stream channel on August the 12th. Go to curiositystream.com and subscribe today so you won't miss it. Thank you for joining us, Susan, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, and we'll talk more about climate, too. I'll see you then.
Bye-bye, honey.
Bye.
Well, okay, friends. When we come back, what we're going to be doing is talking about, Marlo Skinner. Marlo Skinner is going to be joining us. I love this lady. We just have a wonderful time. She's a good teacher to us. We'll be right back.
Stay connected with stimulating talk and breaking news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM, Baltimore, and WCBM.com.